And lastly, I invite Mr. Alex Steffen. He asked me to present him as planetary futurist to make a statement.
How about now? Can you hear me? Okay. Those of you who've heard me speak before know that I usually use a lot of slides. I usually present statistics and graphs and photos of cool gizmos and happy children and shining cities, because a lot of the time what I'm talking about is sustainable innovation and the hope it can bring us. I'm only going to use one slide today, this one, because my message today is very simple. It's singular, and it's heartfelt. I've been at this quite a long time. My first job as a reporter was the '92 Rio Earth Summit. Perhaps other people in this room were there. I'm sure at least a few. That's a long time ago now. And in all that time, we've seen real progress. Steps have been made, achievements have resulted. Many, many, many meetings have been had. But I think it would be safe to say that nobody believes that we are going too fast. And I want to say to you today, you know, I have a speech here. I'm not even going to read the speech. I'm just going to tell you what I think. I want to say to you today that speed is not the problem we face. Speed is the solution to the problems we face. That for far too long, we've been looking at the problem of global sustainability and of sustainable development as trying to resolve the tension between development and sustainability, between planet and economy, you know, between jobs and nature. That there's this tension that we must resolve, and it's difficult to resolve, and it takes a lot of, you know, hard work and long hours, and it doesn't go very fast. Well, I have literally spent my entire life looking at the future of sustainability, and what I want to tell you here today is that speed is the answer. That we are at the cusp of a massive change in how sustainability happens. That we are on the edge of a moment where we see breakthroughs and progress in climate change and sustainable development, in building sustainable cities, in managing terrestrial ecosystems, in providing clean water, energy, that we are at the moment where we are about to see a snap forward in all of that. And that snap forward is going to come from the recognition that we do not have one economy that we are trying to move forward into sustainability. We already have at least two economies, and one of them is sustainable and one of them is not. And those economies are in fierce competition. That shouldn't be any surprise to anybody in this room, right? To know that we have faced significant predatory delay on the part of industries that are inherently unsustainable. And that predatory delay has been purposeful and smart and largely successful, right? We have seen numerous efforts to slow deployment of sustainable solutions, to fight regulations that would be needed, to redistribute wealth that is needed for progress. We all know the story. And this is intentional. It's intentional because sustainability is now disruptive. Across a whole host of technologies and solutions, we are seeing doubling progress. Every time we deploy twice as much of something, it gets better, right? Photovoltaic panels are now 29%. Every time we double the number of photovoltaic panels in the world, we see a 29% improvement. Lithium-ion batteries are at 18%. I could go down an entire list here of solutions that are getting faster and better, right? They're being deployed faster, and every time they're deployed, they get better and cheaper. And that's not just technology, it's also human innovation, right? We know that there are learning curves here that are accelerating, that we are gaining the ability to spread sustainable innovation faster. And we also know that that disruption that these new innovations cause can be profitable. It can deliver development. that we face the task, I believe, not of trying to ease an economy through the crisis that is built up of weighing the planet's needs against people's needs. I believe that the entirety of our crisis is developing enough momentum in the immediate future, right now, that we see deployment sufficient to propel these solutions forward to the point where they outcompete, where they disrupt, where they disaggregate the unsustainable systems that they're competing with. Because if sustainability is not disruptive now, it's not sustainable. If sustainability is not able to not only provide the needs that we seek to fill, but also to disrupt the powers that are seeking to hold back new solutions, it will not succeed, right? We know that winning slowly in this situation is the same thing as losing outright. The clock is ticking. Every person in this room I know knows that. The only way that we win fast, though, is if we move fast. And the only way we're going to move fast is if there is gain in that movement. All around the world, there are people moving to deliver breakthroughs, to deliver miracles, to deliver extraordinary innovation, to deliver social progress. If we do not see that goal as one where we do not simply gradually accelerate, but gain a snap forward in what we're doing, we will fail. We will fail. Failure is possible. We all know that. Failure is possible here. Some say it's likely. I don't believe that, because I think that as we see these solutions accelerating, we're also seeing the acceleration of political will. Don't let what's happening in my country fool you. Donald Trump is not the future. Donald Trump is a road bump. Oil is not the future. Coal is not the future. Internal combustion engines are not the future. Unsustainable building is not the future. Unsustainable infrastructure is not the future. These things are not the future. These things are the past that's dragging us down, because they can be made to be profitable a little while longer. So if we really want to see the SDGs implemented, we have to begin to ask, how do we make each of these efforts disruptive? And we need to have the courage to say that it's not enough for us to do good, we have to do better than the alternative. It's not enough for us to hope that somehow we'll find the will to find uncontroversial solutions to inherently conflictual problems with established opposition. It's not going to work. I'll tell you what will work, though. What will work is fast deployment of every solution we have. What will work is increased spread of innovation. What will work is talking about the need to displace an older economy in order to implement a new economy. Because that new economy is the only economy that can provide sustainable development goals. There is no tension between sustainability and development. On a finite planet, if those things aren't actually the same thing, we're toast. There is no tension there. The tension is between unsustainable industries and sustainable development. And that tension is playing out in the politics of every nation on Earth. It's playing out in every room where people meet, in rooms like this. It's playing out in the media. It's playing out in our culture. It's playing out on the streets. It's playing out in our universities. It's playing out in our faith institutions. And we know that there's only one way forward, and that's fast. Sustainability is speed. Pardon me for speaking just plainly and from my heart. And thank you for taking the time to listen.
I thank Mr. Steffen for his, in some way, alarming statement